5 ruthless lessons that make you dangerously smart. The first lesson: knowledge is a weapon, not a decoration. Power does not come to those who merely know. It comes to those who know what to do with what they know. The world praises intelligence as if it were a virtue, but in truth, intelligence is useless when unarmed by cunning. Many collect facts like trinkets, displaying them to impress others. They talk, they read, they quote philosophers, but their knowledge serves no purpose. The dangerously smart man, however, collects knowledge as a soldier collects weapons, each piece sharpened for a strike, each fact serving an end. The first ruthless lesson is this: never learn for pleasure, learn for advantage. Every truth you acquire must have a use, or it is a burden. The wise learn to dissect people, to study their patterns, to know what makes them move, fear, and obey. They learn how systems are built, and more importantly, how to bend those systems. The dangerously smart do not seek approval for their intelligence, they seek leverage. They understand that the appearance of ignorance can be more powerful than the display of brilliance. In this world, being openly intelligent invites envy, resistance, and silent enemies. The masses fear those who can see through their illusions. So, conceal your sharpness until it must be revealed. Let them underestimate you, for their arrogance will be the very door through which you walk to victory. The art of intelligence lies not in showing what you know, but in knowing what others do not suspect you know. When you observe others, you must do so as a predator studies its prey, not out of cruelty, but necessity. People are creatures of desire, fear, and habit. Learn to recognize their weakness, and you can move them as easily as a chess master moves a pawn. The dangerously smart do not rely on luck. They manipulate chance itself by creating the conditions that make luck inevitable. Remember this: in the game of life, intellect alone does not grant survival. Strategy does. You can be the smartest man in the room, but if your intelligence is unguarded, you will be devoured by those less intelligent but more ruthless. The world does not reward understanding, it rewards dominance. To be dangerously smart is to turn knowledge into influence, and influence into control. Guard your insight behind a mask of simplicity. Never let others know the depth of your mind. Those who cannot see your weapons cannot defend against them. That is the first step toward becoming a silent conqueror in a world of noisy fools. The second lesson: emotions are tools, not truths. Most men are slaves to their emotions, and therefore they are slaves to those who can command them. The dangerously smart understand that feelings are the strings by which human nature is pulled. Anger, love, guilt, hope, pride. These are not truths of the heart. They are mechanisms of control. To master them in yourself and manipulate them in others is to hold invisible power over the world. You must learn to observe your emotions as a general observes his troops. They are useful, but they must never be allowed to lead. Anger can give you energy, but never let it make you careless. Love can form alliances, but never let it blind you to betrayal. Guilt can make you human, but it can also make you weak. The masses worship emotion as if it were virtue. The wise use emotion as strategy. Those who cannot rule their hearts will never rule their lives. The second ruthless lesson is this: control is worth more than compassion. Compassion is noble, yes, but nobility is a currency easily exploited. Your enemy will appeal to your kindness before your intellect, because the soft heart is easier to pierce than the armored mind. Therefore, make your compassion selective. Give it to those who deserve loyalty, not to those who demand it. When others rage, stay still. When they panic, think. When they cry, observe. It is in emotional chaos that control is seized. The dangerously smart never mirror the world's madness. They let the world exhaust itself while they prepare their next move. To master calmness in crisis is to own every situation. The man who keeps his composure when all others lose theirs becomes the one everyone turns to, follows, and obeys. Yet, do not mistake control for coldness. A perfect ruler of emotion knows when to display feeling for effect. There are moments when a carefully shown tear can soften resistance, When a burst of anger can strike fear into hearts, or when a silent smile can sow doubt. The key is authenticity in performance. The world must believe your emotions are real, even when they are weapons you have drawn by choice. The weak believe honesty requires emotional transparency. The strong understand that transparency is surrender. You owe the world your results, not your feelings. Every moment you reveal your emotional state, you hand your enemies the map to your mind. The dangerously smart know better. They live in emotional disguise. Remember, emotion is energy, but uncontrolled energy burns the wielder. The truly powerful direct their feelings with precision. They channel their passions into creation, their anger into momentum, and their coldness into strategy. The rest waste their emotions on impulse and wonder why they never rise. To rise above, you must first learn to separate what you feel from what you must do. Emotion will tempt you to act before you think. Wisdom demands the opposite. Master this, and you will not only control yourself, you will control the very forces that rule mankind. The third lesson, never show your full strength. Power is lost the moment it is fully revealed. The dangerously smart understand that dominance thrives in mystery. The world must never know how strong you truly are, how much you truly know, or how far you are willing to go. The moment you expose your depth, the game shifts. Your enemies regroup, your rivals conspire, and your admirers become wary. What is feared is respected, but what is understood is often challenged. Thus, concealment is protection, mystery is armor. The third ruthless lesson is this: always leave others uncertain of your limits. Let them believe they have seen your best when they have not even glimpsed your full capacity. The man who reveals all of himself is defenseless, for he has given his enemies the exact measure of his reach. But the man who hides his true strength keeps the battlefield uneven. Others will hesitate, unsure of how to strike or how hard they can push. Doubt is the invisible shield that protects the mind of the strategist. Understand this truth. People respect what they cannot predict. If your reactions are consistent, they will learn to anticipate you. If your power is visible, they will learn to resist it. The dangerously smart person learns to remain unpredictable, not by chaos but by design. A patternless man cannot be trapped. You must be able to appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are vulnerable. To the common mind, you must be a riddle too costly to solve. The art of concealment extends beyond power. It includes ambition. Never reveal your final goal to anyone, not even to those who serve you loyally. Loyalty is fragile when ambition collides with self-interest. If they know your destination, they may either envy it or use it against you. Speak of dreams vaguely and let your true objectives unfold in silence. When others finally recognize your purpose, it should be too late to oppose you. The world is full of those who brag about their achievements before they are complete, begging for validation before victory. Their hunger for recognition becomes the very chain that binds them. They attract attention before they are ready to defend it, and so they fall beneath the weight of envy and sabotage. The dangerously smart do the opposite. They build quietly, strike suddenly, and disappear before the noise begins. Even in strength, humility is a weapon. The world is quick to comfort the humble, but to cut down the proud. Therefore, disguise your victories beneath modesty. Let others believe they are ahead while you silently advance. When they are unguarded, your triumph will seem inevitable, even righteous. The shock of your ascent will silence resistance before it forms. Never fight to prove your power. Let your results speak for you. The fool shouts to be noticed. The wise conquer in silence. Invisibility is not weakness. It is a higher form of control. The unseen hand directs the visible world. When you master this lesson, you will no longer chase power. Power will chase you. The fourth lesson, betrayal is the price of power. Every man who seeks to rise must face betrayal, not as a tragedy, but as proof that he has climbed high enough to threaten someone. The dangerously smart never expect loyalty to last forever. They expect it to expire when convenience changes sides. Betrayal is not a rare occurrence, it is a recurring pattern in the theater of ambition. To survive it, you must learn not to be shocked by it. To master it, you must learn to anticipate it. The fourth ruthless lesson is this: do not fear betrayal, use it. Every betrayal carries information. It tells you who cannot be trusted, who envies you, who desires what you possess. The naive see betrayal as injustice, the wise see it as revelation. It unmasks the hidden motives of men and purifies your circle by fire. The one who betrays you was already lost before the act. The act merely exposes what was hidden. To be dangerously smart, you must learn to betray strategically, not for cruelty, but for survival. There will come moments when mercy will cost you your throne, when loyalty to the wrong person will destroy your foundation. In such moments, the ruthless do what the sentimental cannot. They cut ties without hesitation. Mercy toward a snake is betrayal toward yourself. The world will call it heartless, but history only remembers the victor, never the reasons for his restraint. Never announce your mistrust. Let those who plan to deceive you believe you are blind. When they act, you will have the upper hand. A man exposed in his betrayal is powerless. A man caught in the act can be controlled. Sometimes it is wiser not to punish a betrayer immediately. Keep him close, bound by guilt and fear. He will serve more obediently under the weight of his own treachery than under the illusion of loyalty. However, you must also understand that you too will be forced to betray something, an ideal, a friend, or even a part of yourself. To rise in this world is to shed illusions one by one. You will learn that loyalty and morality are luxuries for those without ambition. The higher you climb, the more you must detach from emotional obligations that weigh you down. To hesitate in cutting the cord is to invite ruin, but never betray without purpose. Betrayal for greed is self-destruction. Betrayal for progress is transformation. The dangerously smart calculate the cost of disloyalty before paying it. They do not act from impulse, only from necessity. When they strike, it is swift, final, and beyond apology. And yet, they understand the theater of virtue. After betrayal, they restore peace through gestures of morality, convincing the world that justice, not ambition, guided their hand. In truth, betrayal and power are twins, born together, growing together, and dying together. You cannot hold power without inspiring envy, and envy always breeds betrayal. Thus, accept it as part of your ascent. Expect it, manage it, and learn from it. The day you stop being betrayed is the day you are no longer a threat to anyone. To the dangerously smart, betrayal is not an end, it is merely a signpost on the road to greatness. The fifth lesson: the mind is a kingdom. Rule it or be ruled. The final and most ruthless lesson is this: the world is not conquered through armies or alliances, but through the mind. Every empire, every revolution, every victory begins first as a thought in someone's head. Therefore, the one who governs his mind governs his destiny. The dangerously smart understand that before one can control others, one must first control himself. The undisciplined mind is a traitor. It reveals your fears, amplifies your doubts, and enslaves you to impulse. Master it, and you become untouchable. Most people are prisoners of their thoughts. They believe every fear that whispers in their head, every doubt that passes through their heart. They are not thinkers, they are reactors. They mistake mental noise for clarity and emotion for truth. Their minds are open fortresses, undefended and occupied by the opinions of others. The dangerously smart, however, build walls inside their minds. They decide which thoughts may enter and which must be executed. They think strategically, not sentimentally. This is the fifth ruthless lesson: think like a ruler, not a servant. The ruler commands his mind to obey reason, discipline, and precision. The servant obeys his impulses and wonders why he is constantly defeated. You cannot think freely while craving comfort. True mental strength is forged in discomfort. When you train yourself to think clearly under stress, to act calmly under chaos, and to plan while others panic. Every manipulation begins in the mind of someone sharper than his opponent. Every downfall begins in the mind of someone too weak to resist his own emotions. Therefore, Guard your thoughts as you would guard a kingdom. Remove the intruders, fear, guilt, regret, distraction. Replace them with strategy, awareness, and endurance. The mind must serve only one master purpose. To be dangerously smart, you must also learn to think beyond morality. Not to be immoral, but to rise above the illusions that bind the ordinary. Morality is useful. It keeps societies stable, but it is also the leash that the powerful use to control the weak. The wise understand the law, but they move beyond it in their private reasoning. They know when to appear virtuous and when to act ruthlessly. Both are roles on the stage of power. The difference is that the masses act for applause, while the dangerously smart act for results. Every day is a battle for control of your own perception. The world will feed you illusions, fame, wealth, validation, to make you forget the real war is within. The moment you surrender your attention, you surrender your freedom. To command your mind, you must command your focus. Train it to stay where you decide, not where it is pulled. Silence the noise. Listen only to what strengthens your vision. The man who rules his mind cannot be manipulated, cannot be broken, and cannot be ruled by another. He moves with purpose while others drift with emotion. He acts when others hesitate. He speaks when others are silent. To such a man, the world becomes a board, and people pieces. In the end, intelligence without discipline is chaos. Knowledge without control is self-destruction. The dangerously smart do not simply think. They govern thought itself. They create empires in silence, and by the time the world notices, it is already theirs. And that is the final lesson: conquer your mind, and you will no longer need to conquer the world, because it will already belong to you.